Hello again, it's Carol King, the developer of Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS. I am continuing in a series of videos about posting payables bills. Previous video I was talking about how you could be a hero to the builder by all of the things you can look up and drill down on the Accounts Payable window. In this video I'm going to focus about how you can upload and attach copies of bills to those payables entries and also continue to be a hero to the builder. So I'm going to combine that up. I have opened already the jobs dashboard for a job Loveman that I'm going to be looking at, and I opened the estimated cost at completion. I'm going there for a reason, and I already have it opened in a tab. We're going to focus on this line right here that budgeted $6,300, issued a PO for $6,300 for K-tops and tubs allowances, and you can see that no accounts payable bill has been entered yet. And I'd like to show you the bill that I have in that I'm getting ready to post for that. Notice, first of all, that this bill is for $6,850. Here's $6,300, but here's another $550 on this bill. And I'm going to show you how the bookkeeper can notice that overage and also look at the original bid to give some information to the field and upload a copy of this bill from SunWest Tile. So I wanted to just give you a little preview about what I'm about to do. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to post new payables and charges from scratch. This one you could also create from a purchase order, but we're going to be doing that in later bills. But let's select that vendor, SunWest Tile, that we have set up. And let's create a job-related bill to focus in on something. Now we know that we have a PO, or we might just look when we get here, do we have some PO for Loveman, you know, that has to do with K-tops and tubs allowances or whatever. So I select that. But I'm still holding that bill in my hand, and I notice that it is for more than $6,300. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drill down on the POs and costs for SunWest Tile for the job Loveman. And I'm going to click on this to drill down to the PO and open it. I'm looking to see if they have uploaded any bid. There is a paperclip icon here, so I'm thinking maybe they did. So I'm going to look at that, and it says SunWest Proposal. Yay. So the bookkeeper sits here and looks at this proposal and says, well, it's for $6,300, and is maybe smart enough or something to notice that add one recessed soap niche to both bath walls. So she decides to take a look at the bill to see what it's for. Add extra tile to the ceiling in both shower walls. And if she goes back to the bid, so the builder did tell me, by the way, the supply and attached to shower walls is that thing that they're adding to the bill now, but it is included in the original bid, so maybe you can understand that. So that was neat that I could drill down to the bid by drilling down to the purchase order. And let's get back to our payables window here. The first thing let's do is go ahead and upload a copy of that bill and attach it to this payables entry so that it will be attached when it gets posted. So I click the upload icon. I'm going to upload a photo or a PDF, and I'm going to look around in my computer. I need to go to the C drive, and I need to go to Robert's Custom Home, and I have a folder for Loveman bills. And I'm going to look here to see if I have Loveman-Sunwest, which is kind of what I do. There's the proposal that I had, but here's the invoice. I know that's the one that I have open. And what I'd like to show you about uploading, when I did that, is that it made something called a small URL that can be put on various reports that I will show you all over the place. And in a PDF, that small URL will be active and will open this file that I uploaded. But you should do something meaningful over here in your title so that if you ever go to the file cabinet to look for it, you can just say Loveman K-tops invoice or something like that. I'd also like to point out that there is a permission level here, so if you are uploading files for maybe some journal entries or something else that you don't want project managers or other people that shouldn't be into accounting to see, you can change the permission level for seeing this to a higher permission level, like controller and manager only or something. But in this case, this is a job cost bill that we definitely want the job project managers 2C, so I'm going to leave that alone. The job got here, the cost code got here, the contact got here. So I'm cool with all of this. So I'm going to save that because I changed the title, and then close it. Now you'll see that there's a paperclip icon here, and if you click it, you see that invoice, so you could double check yourself. If you want to remove it, you can click this, and if you want to just watch this video, you can click that question mark button. Alright, now what we know, like I said, is that we are looking at a bill that is $550 higher than this. Let's just start entering it. So the date is 12/28/20, and what are they using for an invoice number? 900 Bolden. So we'll do that. And we'll leave the K-Tops and Tubs allowance description. That seems pretty good. We have that defaulting in from the PO. It's coming from the PO title here. It dropped in. And for some reason we don't give them 1099s. And 6300 dropped in from the thing. But let's look at one other thing I'd like to point out. 4200 is for labor, and 2100 is for tile cost. And we'll get to this overage in just a minute. So what I'm going to do is change the cost type, because that'll make this a lot better for general liability audit reports, which, by the way, when you give that general liability auditor a copy of all the bills paid, if they're asked for it, you can give them one that's going to have this attachment attached. So let's do 4200 here for that part for the labor. And now let's just copy this line with this copy icon. Notice that the attachment got attached to it also, which is really great, but if you don't want it to be from this line, you could remove it. This one, I'm going to put materials on. How much is the materials? 2100. And you should watch for that and make sure you get these things separated like that. So I've got that entered. I'm still talking about how you can be a hero and also about uploads. But I'm going to go ahead and copy one more line, because I'm going to go ahead and enter that overage, because if I make a line for it, which is 550, and I might change this to be something on the bill that says extra tile in shower walls or something like that. I'll just make that up. Let's do extra tile in shower walls was on bid, and I put that in caps just so it's starting to become clear that this was on bids, and it's $550. So now we have the $68.50. You need to go ahead and get this entered, and if they tell you not to pay this, you can always go and make a credit line for minus $550 to say removed was on bid, so that you have a trail of what you're doing, and then come back and pay the check. So it doesn't hurt to go ahead and get this entered. The other thing is you can delete unpaid payables bills also, but I'm such a feisty bookkeeper that I like to have a trail of what's happening. But also right now I'll do that thing, write a comment to the project manager that I showed you before, and I'll send it to him, and I'm going to say, and it has the attachment of the bill to it, but I'm just going to say they put $550 on the bill that was already included on their original bid. Drill down on the PO to see the bid. Since I realized that I could do that, I'm telling them to do that, etc. And if I save that, I could then send it out so that George Brown gets this by email, but I'm not going to do that in this particular demo. So that comment is there. You can see the bubble for that. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this, and it's telling me that I'm over. I might do my pause submit, and notice that it's saying it's over POs, and if I click that, in the previous video we talked about over budget, which it also is, but I can compare the POs and costs for this vendor and job. And right here, if I hadn't already figured out that it was over, I could drill down on the PO and look at the bid again from here. So anyway, let's submit it again. We know about that. We know we've done our comment and all that stuff. But that, you could use this to help you stop and maybe look at things and look at the POs by the fact that it pauses. But I will continue to submit, and I'm going to post it as unpaid. And I'm going to close this, and I'm going to jump back to the ECC for Job Loveman. Now notice, because I had it open in a tab, it's not showing anything about that posting yet, but if I refresh it, you're going to see that $68.50 is showing here, that somebody on the ECC could drill down on that and see a report of those in this line about 550, but could also really look at the attachment by drilling on that. And you can see that there's an attachment here that they're going to be able to see from everywhere, and they're seeing a copy of the invoice. And they could, of course, drill down on other things and drill down on the PO and see the original bid again and look at the comment that I made about it, etc., and see why I'm saying it's 550 over. Now the other thing is, on the jobs dashboard, if I click to approve posted unpaid job costs, I'll just open them all for this job, see what we have in here. And you can see the SunWest tile here. You can see that there's a green comment here that the person approving the bills could look at. And they can see what I'm saying about how it's already included. Look at the PO. They can see that right there. But the fastest way to look at that comment is in the comments report. And look here how there's a little hyperlink to that particular file. So if I export to PDF and open the PDF, because those hyperlinks don't become active, but see how it's active right now? It won't work for me to click this to demo to you because I'm actually working on my local machine and I need to be actually working on a real client's database for that to connect through right to AWS where that's uploaded. But I just wanted to point out that if they do that comments list real fast, they can also click on this to see the attachment, and they can see that I said this, that I made this comment. But I just wanted to show you how that's right there when they're approving bills. And they also could click this comment with attachment. I'm playing like I'm George Brown and I'm sending it back to Carol King, and I'm saying do not pay for the 550 overage, and of course the project manager could say more if they want to. And I'll close that. So I just wanted to show you how valuable it is to have a copy of the bill and the ECC, etc., that the field can look at when they're looking at what's going on here with this. When they drill down on the ECC, if they're really good at checking, they're going to see that the ECC is indicating that it's over budget by 550. So maybe they notice it there, even if they don't pay attention to the green bubbles. They should be drilling down on things to see. If they drill down on the POs versus the cost, they would also see that there's PO for this, cost for this, and it's $550 over. So hopefully that didn't get too long, but did make a point to you about how valuable it is to upload and how you do uploads in CHS and attach them to payables bills. And again, I'm trying to prove the point that you don't have to route the bills around before you post them. You should post them as soon as you get them so everybody can see on the ECC approval windows and all kinds of things about what's happening. The other valuable thing about entering the bills right away is we start building an accounts payable list that when the owner does his owner review and is looking at cash available for each job, they can see how many bills are in right there and how much cash is over or short for the job. So there's a whole lot of reason to start entering those bills as they come in, so the communication is happening to everybody in your little team. So thank you for watching.